Welcome to No Hidden Agenda TV. I'm Sarah Soliman, and we are at a record-breaking IMEX America in Las Vegas, where event professionals from all over the world are gathering to have one-on-one appointments, get some new content, new education, the latest and greatest that's happening within the industry, and the buzz and energy is definitely exploding on the show floor. We are in front of the Caesars Entertainment booth where one-on-one appointments are taking place, and as you all know, Las Vegas has been a little bit busy prepping for some major events happening. F1, Super Bowl, amongst many, many other exciting events taking place here in the city. And we got to catch up with some of the leadership team from Caesars Entertainment who not only talked about what's happening within Las Vegas, but what's happening within Caesars Entertainment as well.
We're working on Harrah's Reimagine. As Caesars Forum continues to ramp up and we have all those guests staying at Harrah's, the business type service that you can get at Harrah's is really elevated. So that's what we're talking about this week.
When you look at the Harrah's brand historically, it's one of our most popular brands in the company. We've got over 50 casinos and hotels nationwide, and Harrah's historically has been a very gaming-centric property, and this property in Las Vegas was no different. But over time, as the business has evolved to be more non-gaming and convention-friendly, and especially with us building the brand new Caesars Forum convention right behind the building, we had to completely transform this property and transform our business and rethink the way we are servicing the customers here. You'll see right now we're completely redoing the front drive, so that's going to be the biggest thing. That's the biggest feedback we heard from people, is that front entrance experience for a convention customer really has to have a wow factor. So that's the last piece we're doing now. We're renovating that. The front lobby has been completely redesigned. All 2,500 hotel rooms have been renovated. All the public spaces, the restrooms, floors, ceilings, columns, carpet, you name it, the entire floor to ceiling has been completely redone. But with that, then you have to add in new amenities. So we've added new lounges, new bars, new restaurants. We added this place here, Ramsey's Kitchen. We've brought in Bobby Flay. We brought in Buddy Valastro. So a lot of celebrity chef concepts that we know our convention customers like, having good food, good place to gather for drinks. So that's really what we've done. We tried to change the entire amenities that we're offering here to our convention customers. A convention customer can come in, they can completely take over the property. They could rent bars, restaurants, lounges. They could do their marketing and advertising along the corridors, in the front drive, the hotel rooms. So it's something that it's very unique to this market, being able to do that for our customers. But also just the proximity that we have, just the connectedness to the space. It's a very quick walk. It's very easy and accessible for the convention customers. It's something that they've told us that they really enjoy. Having everyone just very close and contained in the center strip location allows them just to really hang out here, but also go to some of our neighboring Caesars properties where we also have other amenities that you can completely take over.
Now, as we all know, Super Bowl 2024 will be right here in Las Vegas in just a few months, and our partners at Meetings Today got to catch up with the planner on the host committee for the Super Bowl. Let's check in with them.
Hi, I'm Jeff Heilman, senior contributor at Meetings Today, here amid the Day 2 excitement of IMEX America 23 inside Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. With me, a very special guest, Sam Joffrey, president and CEO of the Las Vegas Super Bowl 58 host committee. Sam, welcome. Thank you very much for being here today. Sam brings more than 25 years of big league, major league sporting event management experience. Sam, tell us a little bit about your work, success, and what brought you to Vegas for its first ever Super Bowl.
I was lucky enough in 1996 when the Super Bowl was coming to New Orleans for Super Bowl 31 in 1997. I was fortunate enough to get my foot in the door there to propose some solutions to the NFL and do some work with that Super Bowl, which also kind of introduced me to the local host committee there in New Orleans, who I did a lot of work with back in 97. And then I just kind of joined the circus after that, started doing work for the NFL every year, in between the ones that we were lucky enough to host in New Orleans in 2002, 2013, where I was part of the host committee there and part of putting together the bids to attract those Super Bowls, as well as Final Fours and NBA All-Star Games and WrestleMania. So my work there with the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation for over 20 years had us embedded into all those major sporting events as well.
Right. So there was a time when you could not say National Football League and Las Vegas in the same sentence. Now this town has the Raiders, it has Allegiant Stadium, and in 116 days from now, its first ever Super Bowl. What won it for Vegas?
Yeah, for so long there, 0% chance of Las Vegas and the NFL coming together. But, what really paved the way, obviously, were the Raiders coming to Vegas, building the stadium. The stadium then becomes the anchor for a great celebratory Super Bowl. I think whenever you have a new stadium, you're always going to see the Super Bowl come. But because it was Vegas, The little courtship that Vegas and the NFL had during Pro Bowl and draft, I think, proved that, with all the developments over the years with sports wagering across the country, that kind of paved the way to say, okay, now it's okay let's take the granddaddy of them all, Las Vegas. Who else are you going to trust in this industry, and who else could host major sporting events like Las Vegas hosts everything year-round, 365 days a year.
So with the blessing of all 32 NFL team owners, the bid was awarded, and that really launches the host committee. So tell us a little bit about your role and the function of that committee.
So it was December of 21 when the NFL owners voted, awarded it to Las Vegas, and then your first step as a host city is you have to create a nonprofit 501c6 host committee. So we're the entity that signs the contracts with the NFL, goes on the hook for everything, raises the money, and then does everything on behalf of Las Vegas and our obligations. All those promises that we made in our bid for the past year, we now have to make good on. So we're the sole entity that does that, and we're responsible for, we've got 11 subcommittees with about 300 total committee members, about 30 committee members per subcommittee that are volunteering their time, the best of the best in Las Vegas, in the PR world, the volunteer world, the transportation world, to make sure that we can make this thing as frictionless as possible of an event for the NFL and for the fans, the constituents, the media, everybody that's coming for that week. So we become that local host entity that is responsible for making sure that everything happens the way we envisioned it during the bid.
Wow. So you've, in one way or another, you've had a hand in 25 past Super Bowls. How does it feel to be, it's number 26, back in the hot seat? How is this one different?
Well, obviously this one's different because it's the first one in Las Vegas. And when that opportunity came up and I was asked to come help with this effort, I was, first of all, kind of honored and blown away. But then secondly, immediately excited. I mean, who wouldn't want to be part of the first of what we're pretty certain are going to be many Super Bowls here in Las Vegas. But that opportunity to author the plans instead of just dust off the old ones and tweak them, to say, hey, we got to create everything from scratch. Everything that we write, every manual we do, every plan we draw, every event we create, every legacy opportunity, it's all the first time. So to be able to have that pride of authorship and to hopefully 20, 25 years from now be able to look back and say, yeah, me and 300 of the community members that sat on our committee, our staff, our volunteers, the small businesses, everybody that participated were part of that first one in 2024. And that's going to be pretty special.
As you said, this certainly will not be the last Super Bowl, and legacy planning is a big part of that. So what are some of the constituent elements of the investment in the future that you and the committee are making?
So, everything that we're designing, we're thinking about legacy and how does this have a life beyond Super Bowl, not just until the next Super Bowl. But how can the small business program that we're running, the Business Connect program, in concert with the NFL, to make sure that local disadvantaged businesses have an opportunity to participate in the economics of Super Bowl, to our volunteer program, to our community affairs initiatives. How do we make sure that those can serve all the major events that Vegas is ultimately going to host here, whether that's Final Four, whether that's the college football championship game, which I'm sure is going to come to Vegas as well.
Right.
So how do you take this major event infrastructure and have a legacy in that aspect alone? And then when the Super Bowl rolls around, that yes, we've already got the 9,000 volunteers who did it last time and the 250 business owners who now know how to respond to an RFP and get the business. All those legacy things are not just for next Super Bowl, but for every major event that happens here in Vegas moving forward.
So in both ways, Vegas, the Super Bowl happens for the NFL, but it also happens for Vegas, as opposed to Vegas.
Oh, you nailed it. That's one of our slogans. We as a host committee are here to make sure that it does happen for Las Vegas instead of to Las Vegas. Right. And everything we do is keeping that in mind.
So let's wind the play clock 117 days forward. It's Monday, the day after Super Bowl. How do you measure success?
Well, I think obviously if we've paid all our bills and nothing major has gone wrong, the biggest measure of success on Monday morning is that there are two parts of this equation. There's this universe of NFL stakeholders, the owners, the media, the sponsors, the fans, making sure that on Monday morning they're saying, wow, that was awesome, how fast, the Super Bowl should be here every year. Yeah. Other side of the equation, Las Vegas, the business owners, the resort partners, the tourism stakeholders, the residents, the nonprofits, that everybody here is saying the same exact thing on Monday morning, is that was awesome. We wish Super Bowl could be here every year. We know it can't, but we can't wait for the next one.
You know, I think, Sam, I don't know if you remember in 1980, the cover of Sports Illustrated, Pittsburgh and Rams, the cover said this one was really great. I have a feeling this one's going to be truly super.
I hope you're right, and I believe in every core of my being. This, in more than one way, this is going to be a very special Super Bowl here in Las Vegas.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, for your leadership in securing the bid and planning for the event.
Thanks for having me.
And for more on the bid process, the planning process, and every reason why Las Vegas is a winning choice for meeting and event planners, please visit meetingstoday.com and read my extended interview with Sam. Thank you very much.
The buzz and energy continues on the show floor. We had a chance to catch up with Hello DMC on what they've been up to lately.
We had the opportunity to meet Lori Weitzner at Google XI about a year ago. We actually brought her in and had her do a session with all 35 of our creative teammates nationwide and did a session with them to sort of open their eyes, right? We play with color all the time. So she brought that experience to us in the summer, and we thought, man, this really has legs. How can we continue to bring this to other people outside of Hello and outside of our industry? And so the booth was born. The teammate or guest comes in, whether they have an appointment or not. What I really love about it is we also partnered with Zenus to help track facial recognition in sense of you'll see the cameras that are located about at eye level, and they'll track if people are happy, the excitement level, their sentiment essentially, and how that encourages them and come into the booth. From there, we then obviously step right up and they take the Ode to Color quiz. It's 18 questions, takes about 3 minutes, and from that quiz provides you with what color world could best be associated to you to provide a number of things. So whether it be stability or more excitement, that color world may be what comes to you from the quiz. After you take that, we then invite you to experience it through her textile demonstrations that you see there, that she's put together. And then from there, you can smell the color world. The perfume artists that she has worked with have developed what each color world smells like. And then from there, you can even listen to each color world. She's worked with 2 composers that have developed the actual sound to that space. And I was speaking to Lori yesterday, and she actually goes, I had a person listen to it and actually start crying. There is a very emotional sense to being understood or being heard, right? And that's what this is providing. So again, multi-sensory, inclusivity, and personalization. And then from there, we provide them with a book that we produced alongside Lori and her team. That book then walks you through a 2-dimensional version of these textile experiences, an explanation of that color world. And then if you flip the next page, we actually had 10 of our designers that took the quiz and got each of these color worlds and explain how that color world affects their design, and then curated Hello images, Hello event photos that represent that color world.
Wanted to actually make it more of an experience, and so rather than just coming and sitting down, you can go to the Ode to Color activation. You can sit in this lounge space that's inspired by the Out Loud color that also work with our brand colors, and so really making it more authentic and more representative of what we do every day. Really like to look at how the client's experience is from the beginning of their event to the end, and so from the first arrival to their final exclamation is kind of how we like to describe it. And so instead of just looking at it as a list of services that we provide, it's kind of how can we take their experience and really turn it into an experience from the start to the end. And so we really focus on creative design at our company rather than just the services.
That does it for us here at IMEX America. It has been a pleasure bringing you some highlights and some of the happenings that are going on in Las Vegas and within Caesars Entertainment. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode, and we'll see you next time.